Okay, let's jump right in. Today, we're exploring exactly how Great Depression-era mothers used, well, extreme economy and some serious kitchen wisdom to feed an entire nation. We're going to unpack 25 brilliant, incredibly nutrient-dense soups that literally kept people alive when times were unbelievably tough. But to really understand this, we've got to set the stage first. Picture the freezing winter of 1931. Unemployment had hit a staggering 16%. We are talking about a harsh reality where simply having heat in your house was considered a huge luxury. Out in the market, a basic loaf of bread cost exactly 9 cents, and honestly, even that was completely out of reach for a lot of folks. So, mothers all across the country were forced into this seemingly impossible situation. Think about it. Figuring out how to feed a family of 5 on a grocery budget of just $1 single for the entire week. There was no convenience of a grocery store in every corner, absolutely no freezers packed with ready-made meals. They had to rely purely on their own ingenuity. What they did have, though, was a heavy cast iron pot. During that bitter winter of 1932, families relied heavily on what became known as the rolling soup pot. And sometimes that simmering pot was literally the only thing keeping the house warm. It was this endless cycle, right? Water, whatever scrap bones could be scavenged, and humble root vegetables were just added daily to maintain a life-sustaining meal for weeks on end. And man, there is such a stark contrast between then and now. Today, you've got massive food corporations spending billions of dollars to market canned soups that are, quite honestly, mostly just salt and water. Now compare that to the pure nutritional genius of our great-grandmothers. They were out there crafting these mineral-dense survival foods for literally pennies per meal. They made absolutely sure that not a single nutrient was ever wasted. Section 1, Pennies for a Feast, the Red Stretchers. It's amazing to see the incredible variety born from basically nothing. Take tomato and bread soup, for example. Simmering canned tomatoes with stale bread until it dissolves into a thick stew actually tasted like a high-end Italian meal. People often described it as a hug from the inside. Then you had coffee soup in Scandinavian American farmhouses. Tearing stale bread right into hot black coffee with cream was this warm, caffeinated ritual for hardworking families. And of course, milk toast, just yesterday's bread with hot milk and butter, offering gentle, simple comfort on a freezing morning. Next up, we have these incredibly economical one-pot wonders. In Appalachia, potato and onion stews would literally break apart as they cooked to create their own creamy broth. Out west, cowboys relied heavily on a Dutch oven fallback of bacon and beans that would turn into a thick paste guaranteed to keep them full through long night watch. From those quick 20-minute bunker meals of rice and canned chicken to poor man's chili that somehow tasted even better on the second day, these provided savory, filling dinners that really stayed in your belly. Section 2. Science meets kitchen wisdom. Now, what is truly fascinating here is the sheer nutritional science hidden inside these historically cheap meals. Modern companies spend absolute billions trying to replicate what these mothers just knew intuitively. Take clabber and cornbread. Clabber was simply raw milk left out to thicken naturally. Poured over cold cornbread, it became a complete meal that modern nutritionists are now realizing is a scientific marvel. It's packed with naturally occurring probiotics and healing minerals that are identical to an expensive $15 supplement bottle you'd buy today. And the list of these nutrient-dense superstars just goes on. Lentil and carrot stews were basically under $1 superfoods packed with iron, and they didn't even require soaking. Then you had chicken and dumplings, which cost exactly 3 cents to make back in 1932. They used bony parts to create a rich broth with a flavor chemistry you just can't replicate, all topped with pillowy soft biscuits. And we absolutely can't forget pot liquor, that mineral-dense liquid left over from boiling greens with fatback. Crumbling cornbread into it was just another genius way to ensure that zero nutrients went down the drain. But the real magic, that happened with what they called the Sunday luxury, the ham bone. After a holiday ham was picked completely clean, it birthed these amazing ham bone heroes. As it simmered, it released collagen and a rich, smoky flavor that thickened up these incredible soups. A 30-cent batch of split pea soup would warm you from the sternum outward for days. Meanwhile, pinto beans broke down into a rich, dark liquid that quite literally built generations of American coal miners. In fact, this method is so culturally significant that navy bean soup has been served in the U.S. Senate cafeteria every single day since 1903. No joke. Section 3. Meals of Human Dignity. You know, it's really important to remember that these cold weather soups were never just meals of defeat.
Not at all. They provided true emotional comfort and profound acts of care. The cabbage and sausage pot required almost no knife work, which was absolutely perfect for seniors with aching hands. Whisked eggs created silky golden ribbons in farmhouse egg drop soups to comfort the sick. Red beans and rice was so universally beloved across ethnic lines that the jazz legend Louis Armstrong actually used to sign his letters, "Red beans and ricely yours." Even something as simple as rice and gravy soup used meatless pan drippings to create a savory meal that practically saved millions.
Then you have something like depression stew. This wasn't just a recipe, you guys. It was a whispered secret, passed down from mothers to daughters as a solemn promise that they would never go hungry. It was just a simple mix of ground beef, tomatoes, corn, and potatoes. But listen to this. This specific stew successfully sustained a Pittsburgh steelworker, keeping him totally healthy for 3 years on a grocery budget of a mere $11 a week. It was quite literally care made edible. And finally, coming in as the ultimate staple, the classic chicken soup. A whole chicken simmered low and slow with carrots, celery, and onion. To this day, it remains the most basic, nourishing, and healing meal human beings have ever invented. Whether it was for a senior living all alone or a large family shivering in a freezing house, a steaming bowl of this was the ultimate taste of being completely, truly taken care of. Section 4. The Kitchen Challenge.
So here is my direct challenge to you for this week. I want you to bypass that shiny modern grocery aisle full of processed, expensive foods. Pick just one of these historical survival strategies, maybe the depression stew or the split pea. Make it using the extreme economy of our great-grandmothers. Sit down and just eat it slow. Experience that history.
I really want to hear from you on this. Did it taste like home? Did it make you feel more human? I genuinely want to know if these old-fashioned ways still have a place in your modern kitchen. Because ultimately, these weren't just dinners meant to fill an empty stomach. They were an ingenious way of life that restored our humanity when the world